All right, here we go. Here we go. So the title of today's discussion is moving from wanting to being. From wanting to being. So we're going to talk about two specific quotes within this. The first quote is Neville Goddard. It's be still and know you are that which you desire to be, and you will never have to lift a finger to make it so. That's number one. Okay. And then number two is going to be it's a quote from Rumi. You wander from room to room hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. Both of them are very profound statements. All right. So let's get into this. So be still and know you are that which you desire to be, and you will never have to lift a finger to make it so. Stillness, right, is not silence of movement. It is the silence of disbelief, right? When I talk about stillness, we talk about presence. One of the most powerful things that you can learn is presence. To simply be involved or engaged in whatever is in front of you. When you're eating, be focused on the food and not thinking about your specific person. Right? When you're talking to your parents, talking to your friends, talking to your loved ones, right? Actually being engaged with the conversation and not thinking about your specific person or thinking about that thing that you're trying to manifest. Okay? So it is the moment the storm of striving quiets and the truth rises. What you seek is already what you are. Desire in its purest form is divine memory. God reminding itself of what it has already created. All right. So let's talk about desire. I've often said desire, when you have this divine desire, right? Because you are the manifestation of God. God is pure spirit. You're the identity of God. Right. And this physical vessel is simply how God communicates to God. You have a desire that pops up. What is it? Does that mean that God wants to drive a car? Does that mean God wants that specific person? No. The desire itself is simply source. God reminding you that it is already all that there is. It's just moving across the atmosphere or the architecture of itself and reminding you that you are much more than you perceive yourself to be right now. Right? So you might have a desire when you go through a situation that you don't like. You can't pay this bill. Now you have a desire for more money. What is that? It's the reminder that you are much more than the present circumstances are telling you. That's all. It's this divine urge to know yourself as more. It's God wanting to know itself as God. All right. So this is what desire is. It's not necessarily that God pops up within you where you are God, but it's not that some foreign spirit pops up within you with the desire to drive a supercar. All right. That's not it. It is that you are already this manifestation of God. All right. And you have this innate urge, this innate desire to know yourself experientially through all these different things. All right. And so that is how you get to desire. It's just you wanting to know yourself. It's a divine urge. All right. So when you become still enough to know instead of want, your being aligns with the fulfilled state and life reorders itself around your conviction. The outer no longer needs to be manipulated because the inner has already accepted completion, right? It's that radical acceptance of presence that everything just is what it is and it's perfect and it's unfolding perfectly, right? The thoughts, the emotions, the circumstances, while they are real experiences, are not reality. I am. And I've already made the decision on who I am, on what I have decided. And now I allow everything to be what it is, right? I give everything the permission to unfold perfectly for me. That's faith, right? That's conviction, right? Our conviction cuts through time like a sword. It cuts through circumstance, right? So to never lift a finger, right? Part of this Neville quote, to never lift a finger means you no longer try to force reality into agreement. You rest in the quote unquote frequency of knowing, of being, and creation rushes to match it, right? So you are sitting, right? Or you are seated right here at the center of reality in the knowing of who you are, all right? And so when you decide that you are something, boom, now reality actually rushes to meet that because reality is already you. So when we're out here striving, all right, I want you to think of yourself, you're divinely placed in the center of reality. Everything is God. God is the fabric of resistance, right? So God, the spirit of God is in everything. It's in the mic, the phone, your mother, you, everything. But seated in your reality, in the middle of your reality is you. You are dead center in the middle, right? In the middle of reality. And you shine this beacon of light, right? This beacon of light is the wholeness of God within you. And when you walk into a room, this beacon of light then flows from within you and it animates everything out there. It animates everything in your reality. So when you assume the posture of knowing that you are prosperity, guess what? Everything in your reality becomes prosperity, not because you attract it from out there. There's nothing out there. It's because you light up everything with your presence. Your presence is prosperity. When you walk in the room, you carry prosperity. You carry love, right? And so now all of these experiences simply are animated by your presence. And now they flow into you. Now you simply experience yourself. Now, what do you call the concept of time with all this? Well, time is simply the logical mind trying to build a coherent or a cohesive picture of the unfolding of you. All right? Because if everything happened in a quote unquote instantaneous way, reality would break. The illusion would break. One of the things to really think about is that it is a beautiful realization when you understand, when you truly see that the illusion feels more real than what is reality. Okay? The illusion feels more real than reality. Now, if you look at that from the wrong way, right, you can feel confined by that understanding. You can feel trapped by it, like, damn, I wish it wasn't, right? But when you really open your mind to this truth, you realize, damn, there are infinite possibilities. What can I not accomplish? What can I not accomplish? So this is how time is. We think of every moment of your life like this still image or this picture. Okay? And so within you, all versions of you exist. Prosperous version of you. The lack version of you. Right? The version of you commenting other people's TikTok lives. Right? All those versions of you exist. Okay? And so what happens is that when you choose a perspective, right? Reality is animated by that perspective. So if you've ever watched a movie, which I'm sure you have, I trust you have, if you ever watched a video, right? Videos are shot in what's called frames per second. Okay? So every second, most movies are shot in what's called 24 frames a second. So if you watch 1 second of a movie, it looks like this flowing image, but really it's 24 pictures, but they happen so fast, right, that it looks like motion. Right? 24 frames every second. All right? And it just looks like motion. Now, this is the same way that your reality works. Every moment in time is a still image. But you're moving through it and it gives this illusion of movement, this illusion of continuity. How many moments are in a second? Infinite. Okay? So you have these infinite moments of these still images that are within this reality. Right? And so you're standing right here in one frame and you get to choose based on your conviction, your perception, your knowing, your being. You get to choose who you are. You get to put on the mask of that character. And now what happens is all of these moments, these different frames, now begin to rearrange. Course of Miracles actually said this beautifully, right? The frames are always changing in every moment, right? But the frames might only differ in such small detail that it's unperceivable. But reality is always changing. So the moment that you get to decide, the moment you decide, reality is changing. It's all flipping through. It's all flipping through, right? And now what you perceive as time is just the experience of knowing yourself. It's the experience of knowing yourself as your new perspective. Now, how do I get through time faster? How do I get through time faster? Let me ask you this question. Do you see reality? The 3D, right? Because we're often in these space, we talk about the 3D. We think of it as something out there, right? Physical reality, the 3D. Do you perceive physical reality as something that you have to struggle with and endure and face and strive to get through in order to get to your desired end? Or do you see physical reality as you? The first Hermetic principle, right, is as within, so without. Okay? The universe is mental, all is mind. One of the misconceptions about this is that it still implies separation. Right? I think it's me here and it's physical reality out there. But we all know that there's just one. There's one God, one source, one mind, there's just one. There's unity. Everything is you. So there is no separation. Now, the more that I perceive separation between myself and this physical reality, what am I doing? Well, of course I'm adding time. Of course I'm adding time, right? Because if the unfolding or the changing of these frames of reality is just meant to give me the illusion of an experience, and I think that physical reality is something outside of me that I have to endure and fight with to get what I want, then guess what? The logical, it's going to be longer, right? It's going to take longer time because that's my belief. That's my knowing that I have to endure it. One of the best exercises that you could do is I want you to think about what you want. Think about the money that you want. Think about the person that you want right now. And just sit in however you feel, because how you feel about it doesn't matter. But sit right now. And I want you to start thinking about all of the logical boundaries that you place between you and that desired end. For instance, money. Okay. When I was first in the market, and I had these hopes and dreams. I was like, okay, I want to make $50K a month. Right? That was one of my first, once I started getting profitable, it was one of my first big things. And in my mind, I had these logical steps to get there. So, okay, well, in order to do that, I would have to scale. And if I scaled up, it would be at this percent and it would take this long. And so already, I was being that person, but I had this plan. Now, I'm not saying the plan is bad. I'm not saying the plan is bad. It's not bad. The plan is the plan. The plan is simply a vehicle for God's will. But what was I doing? I was bringing that even into my state of being. So I couldn't be that person right now. I have to go through these conditions, right? If these conditions are met, then I will be that person. Or you might say, okay, well, this person that I want, they're a little bit argumentative. They're a little bit stubborn. So for me to get them, they have to be convinced by somebody or something. Or you might say, oh, I want a following. Maybe you want a following on a social media platform. You think, all right, well, for me to go from 50 to 1,000 followers, it might take me 2 weeks, 4 months of consistent posting, right? All of those things are conditional. It's very interesting. I was talking to this goddess the other day, and we were talking about that very thing. And she only had 50 followers. And she was playing with the concept of, people are telling me it's going to take this long, but I don't want it to be that. I just want to do it. Like, I just want to go from 50 to 1,000 in a day. And she ended up going from 50 to 1,000 in 2 days. Why? Simply by dismantling the conditions that she placed upon it. Simply by sitting with the desire, right? And saying, okay, I am this desire. Now, what are all of the conditions that I'm placing upon this desire that's keeping me from being that person right now? Well, if I think, I have to go 2 weeks of posting 3 times a day, and then maybe I'll get one viral video and then everything will flow. Well, if I believe that, then I'm placing a condition on it. I have to go through these conditions to be who I desire to be. What's the catch in all this? That you're already that person. The only thing that keeps us from being that, experiencing that right now in our reality, is the conditions that we put upon it. Okay? It's the conditions that we put upon it. Cool. So, here is the next part, all right? The next quote. You wander from room to room hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. This is what we do. Right? You could think of it from increasing followers. You could think of it from getting that person to come back. Right? You could think about it from making a certain amount of money. In a logical mind, we say, okay, well, I have to get the raise. But they're not doing the performance evals to the end of the quarter. Right? And, they just kind of gave me a raise last quarter because I asked, so I don't know if they'll do it this quarter. Right? All of these conditions on the prosperity that you are. Who do you believe gives you the prosperity? Do you think that you are the prosperity? Or do you think that Bob the boss is the gatekeeper of your prosperity? Who is God? You or Bob the boss? You or good old Bobby? Right? You or good old Bobby? Right? So this is the tragedy of the seeker. You wander from room to room hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. This is the tragedy of the seeker, to search endlessly for what was never lost. The quote from Kabir that we talked about earlier was, I feel sad, or I laugh. Hear what he said. I laugh every time that I hear the fish is thirsty. Right? Like, how could the fish, surrounded by the very substance that sustains it, be thirsty? Right? The same way that we are. We are a group of people who suffer from spiritual amnesia. We suffer from spiritual amnesia. We're surrounded by the substance of God. We're surrounded by Source. We are Source. Source animates every cell, everything. The air that you breathe in is full of God. It's 100% Source, right? Yet we still beg for connection. We still wait for something outside of us to confirm who we are. It's the human condition of amnesia. All right. So the rooms, right? The wandering from room to room, hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. Let's talk about this in a different way. All right. So the rooms represent the compartments of desire, the places we look for love, validation, peace, and purpose, right? Always searching. Here's a good way to think about this. Now, like I said earlier, okay, you are seating at the middle of in the middle of reality as God. So you're seated at the middle of reality, right? And you have this beam of light. That's God. You have the fullness of God within you. So when you walk into a room, what do you bring with you? You bring your assumptions, right? Your desires. You bring all of God with you, and God flows out of you and then animates everything in that room. All right? Cool. Now let's think about it like this. All right, let's say that you are seated in the middle of reality. How do you keep your power flowing from you? Well, presence, right? Your presence, your awareness of being where you are. Okay. Now, if I leave my conscious, if I leave this place and I go to some future that doesn't exist, what am I doing? I'm giving away my power. If I leave this place and I go to some past that's no longer here, that's just a thought, I'm leaving my power, right? Now, I want you to think about this as well. Let's say that right now you're seated in the middle of reality and you have this person that you want, this specific person you want, right? You're fiending for them. You can't get enough of them, right? They might be a little musty, but you still love them, all right? This is your specific person. Now, you need their validation. So you leave your presence to go out there to get them because you feel, oh, if you validate me, then I'll be happy. If you give me some love, some appreciation, some attention, if you kiss on me, then I will be fulfilled and happy. What you are doing is you're abandoning yourself. Okay, let me put it in a different perspective. This person could walk into your life right now and they could pour all the love into you, as much as they could possibly do. They could do their best to pour the love into you. Who decides when that's enough love? Who decides when you can finally be validated by that love? Well, it's you. It's always you. You're going to make the decision if you're validated, if you're full, if you are going to be the fulfillment, if you are going to be the love that you seek. You make the decision when you are content. And you can only be content in the present moment. All right? So they can pour all the love that they want into you, but you're still going to have to be the one that says, you know what? I'm good. I am whole and I am loved. And people show up for me fully. No matter who shows up for you out there, which is the illusion, right? Out there, no matter how much people show up for you, who is going to be the one who finally decides, okay, you showed up enough for me. I'm supported. It's you. So a lot of times we're working backwards, right? We're working backwards. Me sitting in the seat of reality, in the center of reality, me sitting on the throne, right? You're sitting on the throne. And instead of you sitting in the throne and knowing yourself as love, as fulfillment, as prosperity, you're leaving your throne and begging for people out there to validate you. Now, what happens when you leave yourself to get somebody out there to validate you? When you leave yourself to beg somebody out there to validate you, I leave myself to beg them. And the begging doesn't just have to be physical. right? I leave myself and I have to find the perfect affirmation to speak to the cosmos to get this person to love me, because then I will be happy. I have to find the perfect affirmation to speak to the prosperity gods so that I can be rained down with abundance. All right. So I'm leaving myself to call to somebody else to come over here and validate me. So the more that I leave myself, what does reality do to me? Because I'm sitting in the middle of reality already, and reality reflects me. So what is reality doing to me? Everything that I want is leaving me too. I'm out here searching for love. I need validation. And what happens is everybody that walks into my life, they must reflect who I'm being. I'm being the person that leaves myself. So all of these people leave me. And then you hunger and you crave and you say, damn, there's no amount of validation that I can get that will quench this hunger. Well, of course not, because you are the judge on when the validation is enough. And the moment that you decide to sit back on your throne in presence, in the center of reality, the moment that you become present and you allow reality to be what it is, and you remember who you are, now everything shows up for you and everything flows to you. Why? Because you are back in your position of power. So when you leave yourself, when you leave that throne, right? When you leave the awareness of being in the present moment, everything leaves you. Okay, let me put this in a more practical way, okay? I want you to think about the last person that you loved. All right? Not like a family. I want you to think about the last relationship that you had. Significant other. I want you to think about the last one that you messed up, that left you. It might have been your significant person, whatever the case may be, all right? Now, here's a beautiful thing. The first time you meet someone, or when you meet someone in the beginning, y'all are talking, y'all are conversating, right? You're looking at her eyes, she's looking at yours. You see God in her. She sees God in you. You look at her, you say, this could be it. I could see the rest of my life with you. And you look at her and you know that she feels the same. It's not a question of if, you know she feels the same. And the relationship in the beginning is absolutely beautiful. And anytime you're away, you're thinking about that person, or you're more present in what you're doing, all of a sudden everything seems to be flowing better in your life, right? The air feels better. You know what I'm saying? It's transitioning from fall to winter. Even the air just starts to fill your lungs in a different way. It tastes sweeter, right? Thinking about Thanksgiving, now you're thinking about her. Like, is it too early to integrate the family? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have 3 kids anyway. Everything feels good. When you're with them, you're present. You're engaged with them in this moment. In this moment. Okay? Now, let's say that something triggers you in this relationship. They do something that reminds you of that ex that cheated. Right? Now, all of a sudden, instead of you being so present and involved with them, right? Because nothing changed except for you got a little bit of new information. Everything is still perfect. But now what happens is that you have assumed the person or the version of yourself that has shit bad happen. And now, even though reality is perfect, you have put on the mask of what? The person that bad shit happens to. And so now you begin to live in the end of somebody that's getting fucked over, right? You start to wonder, I wonder what they're doing. There's no way that they could be faithful. These women ain't shit. These men are dogs, right? You stay in that end. And now, instead of you being present with them, what happens? You're constantly drifting to the past. This is what happened. These are the past patterns I saw. So you're not even where you're supposed to be. You can only have, here's the gym. I'm going to drop the gym right here, and I'm going to get back to the story. Here's the gym. You can only have whatever you have in the present moment. You can't have it in the past. You can't have it in the future. You can only have it now. So you're with this person, but instead of you being with them, instead of you having them, you don't have them because you're in the past, thinking about all the shit that went wrong. Thinking about your other musty SP. Okay? Now you're thinking of the future. What are they going to do when they leave? What are they going to do when their ex comes around? What are they going to post? Why did they post that? Are they talking to somebody else? I wonder what they're doing behind my back. Your mind is no longer here. You're no longer here with love and reverence, okay? You're in the past or you're in the future. And what happens is that you lose them, of course. Because you can only have what you already have. All right? So now let's say that you start to try to manifest them back. Try to manifest them back, right? It's a concession. Because you can't try. You just have, right? Don't try like Yoda said, right? Just do. Do or don't do. Don't try. Do or don't do, right? Have or don't have, don't try, right? So now you are trying to manifest them back. Okay? And this moment is beautiful. Okay? This moment is beautiful right here, right? But instead of you being in this present moment, having them, what are you doing? You're thinking about the past. I wish they had done this differently. I wish I had done that differently. But man, they were so toxic. But I don't know. Can I even manifest them back if they were toxic? What about me? Should I have done this? Constantly in the past. Constantly in the past, right? Or you're constantly in the future. Oh, when they come back, then I'll be happy. When they come back, then I'll be fulfilled. What are you doing? You're leaving your throne. You're leaving the throne at the center of reality where everything is perfect, where you have everything, where you are the source of everything, where everything flows to you, right? You are the king. When you're in the present moment, you are the king of reality. You are God. You are connected to all. All things flow to you to then be made manifest for you, through you, as you. Okay? So you are sitting in the middle of reality when you're present. But when you're not, you're leaving yourself and you're going out there. You're thinking about some future. That's just a thought. You'll never live in the future, by the way. You think about the past, which is just a thought now. Oh, you can argue for your limitations all you want, but don't worry, you're not going to ever convince me. You will never get me. You will never convince me, so don't even try to argue with me. The past is just a thought. We perceive it as real. It's something that we have to go through and change. We have to fix it. And therein lies another problem. Instead of in this present moment having who you want because you know that you are the center of love, what are you doing? You're leaving your throne, going to the past, pulling up a version of them in the past, and then trying to change that version of them so you can get somebody else. So you can feel happy and content. Begging for an apology. Hoping for an apology when, if you had them, you wouldn't need that anyway. If you simply chose the version of them that you wanted, you wouldn't need that anyway. Right? So a lot of these things, what do they stem from? They stem from the illusion of separation. Us sitting in the center of reality, in this divine place, lit up as God, continuously leave our throne of this beautiful present moment to go into the past and look at stuff we don't want. To go into the future and imagine, oh, when this happens, then I'll be fine. Then I'll be good. Then. Go out there in this present, start begging for people's validation, needing everything from other people. Right? Instead of simply returning to where everything is perfect. And it's right now. Everything is perfect right now. Everything is perfect right now. I'm not saying everything is perfect based on a feeling. Because your feelings will always change. But you don't have to have perfect feelings to have a perfect reality. That would be making it conditional. All right? I know I'm going off a little bit today. All right? This is the last point that I'm going to make. It's about conditions. The last point before I get back into this. And then I'll probably get dragged off on another rant. But it's cool though. All right? So conditions. You are all that there is. You are source. You are God, all right? One of the things that we always talk about God is unconditional, right? Unconditional, right? Now, this source that you are is unconditional, yet we receive these desires and then we make them conditional, okay? We say things like, well, I have to affirm. It has to take a week. All right? If this person doesn't show up and do this thing for me, if this person doesn't apologize, If I don't feel good, then I'm not in alignment. If my ego thoughts are racing, then I can't get what I want. We make things conditional. This is what hear this part, okay? You are sitting in the center of, I'm gonna try to say this as plain as possible, right? Because this is what constantly clicks, right? Because you can get all this information, but you want that moment, all right? You sit in the center of reality as God, with the ability to choose whatever you want to experience. Okay? Whatever you want to experience is simply, okay? It's simply made manifest by you making a choice and deciding that you already have it right now. Deciding that you already have it right now. Everything that implies that you don't have it, right? Anything that makes it conditional is an illusion to be removed. Okay? I have to feel good to get it. That's an illusion. That I'm already it. Because I am all that there is. I'm already it before conditions. Having to feel good to get it is a condition. Just cause if you had all the money that you wanted, do you think you would always feel good? Some of you are like, hell yeah, for damn sure I would, right? You wouldn't, right? You would still have certain days where you feel a little different, right? You are unconditionally it to think, oh no, I have to make sure that I think a certain way. That is conditions. That's being conditional about it. One of the things I used to do when I first got in this space and I warmed up to the knowing that I was God, I would sit with my desires. Like in the morning, my meditation, this would be my meditation. I would sit with my desire, and whatever I was feeling, I would simply remind myself, I am everything that I desire to be right now, no matter what. And then a feeling would come and I would remind myself through that feeling. And then my thought would go somewhere, I would remind myself through that thought, I'm still it. And even when I would try to relax and I couldn't relax, I would remind myself, no, I'm still it. So I would sit in this knowing of I am, no matter what was going on. Right? I would allow that to be my meditation. It worked wonders for me. Hopefully it could work for some of y'all as well. But I wasn't even closing my eyes a lot of times doing this. I was literally just sitting where I was because I said, no, I want to be. I want to be and exist in this state of having, no matter what shows up in my life. So I'm going to be it. And whether I was sore from a workout, whether I was annoyed because the bills were piling up, whether I could relax or whether I could not relax, whether I felt anxious or I felt good, whether my thoughts were hard to control or that was just a day where everything was just flowing. It was me practicing. It was me remembering that I was just it. Okay, I'm gonna make this decision. I'm really gonna go all in on this no matter what. All right. Now, did I need to do all that practice? No, of course not. I'm already it no matter what. It was something that just helped me. All right. So hopefully that could be something that helps y'all a little bit. All right. So let me get right back to this. All right. So the illusion of need. The illusion of need. All right. Let's talk about desire. We talked about desire a little bit earlier. Let's talk about it in a little bit more detail. All right. Desire is sacred but misunderstood. Desire is sacred but misunderstood. The moment that you need validation, need the money, need this, you affirm separation between you and what already exists in consciousness. Because you are consciousness and everything exists in consciousness. But the moment that we start needing, all right, needing is the quote unquote, my favorite word, vibration of lack disguised as longing. Right? When I say vibration, don't think about it like some magic number that you have to raise the vibration to get into, okay? It's just a state of being, all right? So needing is the state of being disguised as longing. It is a vibration of lack disguised as longing. Being, on the other hand, right? Being present, being conscious, right? Simply being in the now, that is alignment. That is alignment. The awareness that the desire is not outside of you, but within you, awaiting recognition. All right, so Mark 11:24. This is what Jesus says, a quote from Jesus. right? Representing what? What does Jesus represent? I'm trying to wait for somebody to say that. What does Jesus represent metaphysically? Make sure y'all paying attention. All these different answers, guys. Yeah. So Jesus represents you. Jesus represents your Christ consciousness. Jesus represents the I am awareness. I am consciousness, right? Your consciousness, your awareness of being, who you believe you are. All of those things, right? It's what Jesus represents. Damn, maybe I shouldn't have asked y'all. God damn. All right, so Jesus said, when you pray, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Will, right? Remember, when we look at that word will is not a statement of like in the future. It will one day. Will is, it will be yours, meaning it's a statement of ownership. Remember, everything in scripture, right? This is a book of consciousness, right? It's a book of consciousness. The numbers are symbolic, okay? Everything happens now in consciousness. There is no future or past in consciousness, okay? So he didn't say believe you will receive it someday. He said you have received it. The shift from wanting to being collapses time itself because it moves you from future tense to divine presence. All right? The shift from wanting to being. I know y'all wanted to hear that. I know that somebody's ears perked up. Collapses time itself because it moves you from future tense to divine presence. Future tense to divine presence. I do not. In the eternal now, creation is finished. This is why presence is so powerful, because right now creation is done. Creation is done. Now, because you are all that there is, because you are so powerful, you can what? You can create the illusion that it's not done, therefore travel through time to get it. But the truth is it's already done right now. This is why being present is so powerful. And it just makes life more enjoyable as well. All right? The one who waits dies in hope. But the one who is lives in fulfillment. And absolutely. So these Google Docs, I upload them at the end of each live stream. So they're all yours. They're all yours. It's all for you. All for you. All right. Next part, the mirror principle. Reality is not testing you, right? This is one of the common misconceptions. Reality is testing you. It's some divine test. God's not testing your ass. It's just reflecting you. That's it. Reality is just reflecting you. This is why when somebody takes on the identity of someone who has to do healing work, they end up healing for a long ass time. When do they stop healing? When they decide that it's done. When is your subconscious finally reprogrammed? When you decide it's done. When is the nervous system finally regulated? When you decide you don't need to do that shit anymore. You realize that your nervous system is just part of your human experience. All of these things are just, we create these mediators between us and God. Right? Just like the Catholic Church, if you want to go to confession, you got to sit in a little thing, in a tube, with a priest on the other side. And in order to confess your sins to God, you have to speak to him. Right? And then he intercedes on your behalf and gives you things to do to forgive you of your sins. Right? He gives you basically an action plan of forgiveness. Right? I'm oversimplifying it. Right? But this is across all kinds of walks, right? So we see this in religion. We even see this in spirituality, where we put all these intermediaries in between us and God. Whether it's a tarot card, whether it's a zodiac sign that says, no, I am destined to be with a Cancer woman, right? I'm destined to be with this type of person. I'm destined to be like this for the rest of my life, right? I have to reprogram a subconscious because God, who gave me the desire, won't accept it until I reprogram a subconscious mind. Right? All of these things are simply placing these barriers or blocks between us and the Most High when there is none. Because you are God. You're already the consciousness of all that there is. All right? So reality is not testing you, it is reflecting you. Right? The outer world is a divine mirror, echoing the vibration of your inner state. The mirror cannot lie because it does not judge, it only reveals. All right? As the Hermetic axiom declares, right? The Hermetic principle, as within, so without, as above, so below. Now, what have I manifested? That's a very good question. Let's talk about this, okay? Because it's a good, I don't know if it's a trolling question, I don't know if it's a serious question, but either way, it's a good question, all right? We will constantly look for proof outside of us for what is possible within our life, right? We will go to YouTube, we will go to Reddit, we will go to all of these different places, and we will say, look, if you've manifested these things, open up a journal and write down what you've manifested and how you have gotten it. Here's the harsh truth, right? If you believe that Jesus is a human or a man, right? If you believe that, I can guarantee you right now that even if Jesus Christ himself showed up in your bedroom and told you this is what you have to do, you would still have 1,000 questions. It's not about anybody giving you proof. It is always going to come down to a decision that you make. A decision that you make. With the way that the internet is right now, right? The way that the internet is, what you'll see is you can go out there and you can get all of these success stories. We're in a connected time, right? Y'all can go through my videos and I talk about things that have happened to me all the time. You hear people come up in this panel and talk about things that have happened to them. You can go to all kinds of creators and see all these miraculous things happening. How come all of these success stories have not proved anything to us? How come we're still searching for proof? Not saying that you are, but how come we are still searching for proof? Why? We constantly believe that this power is outside of us. That the next thing, the next affirmation will make me feel good and I'll get it. The next visualization, that'll prove it to me. The next lecture, the next book, the next thing, the next full moon, the next bubble bath, the next time I light incense in the woods. We're constantly waiting for something else to show us, to prove to us that this works, right? I've been there. That's why I think it's such a good question, is because I've been there. Nothing changed until I made the choice, right? Like the first big thing that I manifested. Well, I'll say big. They're all the same. The first big thing was I spent time being homeless, all right, for a little while, all right, and I had a time where I could not pay the rent. Did not have a job at that time. I was behind months, and they were finally gonna kick my black ass out. Notice on the door, court date, all that. I was driving Uber Eats. Okay, no way to make the money. It was over $7,000. There's no way I was gonna make the money. Okay, but I kept staying in the knowing that I had it. I have the money. It's paid in full. 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 Did I doubt? Hell yeah. Sure did. Did I have anxiety? Sure did. Was my nervous system regulated? Hell nah. Wasn't nothing regulated, right? So even when people were like, hey, you have to feel safe enough to receive, I say, I feel safe enough to keep my home. I feel less safe on the streets. Been there, didn't like it, right? So what happened was the day I was supposed to get my ass booted out, right? Because I'm every day I'm like, bro, I know the constable's finna come and get me out of here. I know they're finna come get me out of here any moment. But I stayed in that awareness that it's paid for. It's paid in full. It's paid in full. It's paid in full. Okay? And it was. When I checked that balance that day, it was paid. When I called, right? Because typically, I can't, in this apartment, right? Whenever my balance was late, which it always was, because I was constantly in lack. Lack was like my religion back then. Whenever it was late, they closed the portal off. So you can't even pay online. You have to call through the customer support, right? So all of a sudden I logged in. Instead of getting the regular message, you got to call, everything was paid. So even when I called them and said, okay, cool, what happened? It's just paid. Who paid it? So to this day, I still don't know. Now, here's the key point. And I've only talked about this a couple of times. Here's the key point. even after that, I was still broke as fuck. I still didn't have a job. The only thing that changed, the only thing was that I knew that even if I don't see it, I have it. So I was able to stay in that knowing, okay, I don't see it, but I have it. And I was able to do a whole bunch of different things. And I was like, all right, look, this is what my mindset was at the time. I'll tell you exactly what it was. It said, for a couple of days, I didn't speak about it because I was like, I don't know what's going on. But I said, look, I know that I can go X amount of time without getting kicked out again. Right? Or it's like 2.5 months. All right, something like that, 3 months, something like that. I knew exactly the amount of time that I can go without getting kicked out. And I said, okay, my only focus from this point forward is to know that everything is taken care of and I am in prosperity. And one of the things that I'm very, very proud of, and I say is I don't check my bank account these days. I don't know how much I have. I just know I always have more than enough, right? And that was that was my affirmation. I have so much abundance. I can get whatever I want. I don't have to check my account. I can travel what I want. I can do what I want. I can eat what I want. I can shop what I want. I can take care of my parents. And magically, so many things unfolded, right? I was put onto trading, right? I got profitable very, very quickly just because I was super disciplined. But other things happened. Money came out of nowhere. Literally nowhere. Random checks. People were giving me stuff, had opportunities, all kinds of things happened. But what did it material? It was all this bridge of incidents that led me to the perfection, the wholeness of me standing in the center of reality where I am. Now, was I always happy about it? Was I always excited? Was I always feeling good? No. There were days where I was nervous as shit, but I was like, no, I know that God's got me. I know that I can stand in the knowing of who I am. Right? And so I continued to just go. And everything just started to unfold perfectly. Right? I started to study money more. And I'm a doer, right? So it's not like I just sat in meditation all day. I kept doing things. Even when I couldn't pay the rent, even when I couldn't pay it, I was still asking people for money. But because I saw everybody as broke, nobody could give me shit. So everybody was broke around me. I was just in a magic land of brokenness. I was in broke-topia. And everybody was in lack. Right? Why? Because that was my mentality. It was so ingrained in me. Right? Sleeping on the streets, sleeping in cars, getting cars repo. It wasn't the first time I was getting evicted. It wasn't the first time. Was not the first time. Right? Matter of fact, I even had to go through like loopholes to get that spot. I had to like apply like I lived somewhere else before then just to get it. It was a long thing. But I was constantly trying to manipulate reality to get around my lack when I was the center of reality. So I was just trying to avoid myself the whole time. The moment that I started actually being present, no, it's cool. Whatever I'm doing. And I'm just going to do it. And everything is working out. Reality is going to take care of itself. Whatever I see, it does not matter what the money looks like. I have it. Even if I don't have it, I have it. And it goes beyond, it had to go beyond logic. That's why I will tell y'all, right? It was that knowing that it's paid, even if I got kicked out, it was paid. That's how beyond logic it went. Even if they kicked me out, even when my mind went there, like, no, I can get kicked out. And it went there often. It was, even if that happens, it's paid because it's already paid. I wasn't avoiding anything. I was allowing whatever to be what it is, whatever thought to be what it is. And I was reminding myself it's already done. And if I can do it, all of you can. Anybody can. I'm not special. You're all God. The same substance, the same source that flows through me flows through everybody. Everybody, right? And so why I'm glad that question was asked is because it's just so important. You won't find a success story. I can tell you a success story. You can go read the most profound success stories. You will not find a success story that will bump you into faith. until you make the decision and you see how God can move through your life. When you make the choice and then you see the way that reality can just bend to you and obey you and love you, you'll realize you've never been a victim. You'll realize you've never been a victim. Okay? Cool. All right, so here we go. So the subtle shift that changes everything. Okay, the next part, the subtle shift that changes everything. This is the secret mystics died to preserve, right? Being precedes becoming. Exactly, Danny. That is the thing. It's the external focus to I'm here right now. I am the proof. I am already it. Me, right? The world would tell you that's selfish. That's creation. That's assuming your rightful place in reality. Okay? So here we go. When you rest in the quote unquote feeling of fulfillment, what is the feeling of fulfillment? Presence. Presence. Okay? Let me highlight this. So in case y'all go through this doc later, you're not listening, you know that means presence. Okay? The feeling of fulfillment is presence, right? The quantum field reorganizes to match it. What is the quantum field? It's all that there is. The kingdom, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the quantum field is everything, okay? So we talked about this earlier, right? Neville Goddard wrote, "Be still and know you are that which you desire to be." This goes back to what we've been talking about, right? It goes back to you. Okay, instead of me looking out there, looking externally, I become the proof. Be still and know you are that which you desire to be. Just know it. Stop trying to be worthy. Stop trying to be loved and just know that you are. And if you know that you are, it's not dependent on how you feel. It's not dependent on even what you're thinking. You just are it. Is your heart beating? Then you are loved, then you are worthy. Okay? So be still and know you are that which you desire to be, and you will never have to lift a finger to make it so. Ever. There's an important part about that. I'm going to get into it. I think I broke it down in here. Yeah, here we go. So stillness is divine authority. It is the moment the mind surrenders its struggle and the heart takes its throne. It's dropping from that mind to body, right? Putting your awareness here. Simply being in this moment. Actually allowing life to be enjoyable. Right? How much enjoyable would a conversation with a family member be if instead of being all the way in your mind and your thoughts the whole time, you were actually in your body? You were just in the couch that you're in. How much more enjoyable would food be if instead of you constantly thinking about other things or scrolling on your phone while you're eating, you were just enjoying that food and enjoying the taste of the food and appreciating how long it took somebody to make it for you. And just thinking about the substance of God that's flowing through it. And then instead of eating that cheesecake and be like, oh, this is going to make me big, you say, oh, everything that I put in my body is divine. It's all God. That's another gem I just dropped right there. All right. So to be still is to stop vibrating in the frequency of wanting and to rest in the frequency of being. Go from wanting everything out there to simply being wherever you are right now. The world is not moved by effort, but by energy. And energy obeys conviction. When you truly know yourself as the thing desired, there is no more distance to travel, no mountain to climb. The desire and the desirer dissolve into one seamless awareness. Creation bends not through labor, but through identification. Because the outer world must mirror the inner certainty of I am. The outer world must mirror the inner certainty of I am. Peace and love. I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Truly. Right? So to never lift a finger does not mean to never act. It's a common misconception. Well, okay, so I don't have to do nothing. I can just sit around and wait for shit to happen. Right? It does not mean to never act. What does it mean? To never act from lack. Right? To never act from lack. I like to do stuff. I like to work out. I like to read. I like to write. I like to study. Did I stop all that shit just so I can get my manifestation? Or I have to do. I just have to be. I can't do. No. Right? It's simply not to act from lack. All effort is fine. Calling them is fine. Texting them is fine. Not doing it is fine. It is about who is doing it, not what you're doing. What you're doing is irrelevant. Who is doing it? Everything becomes magical from the knowing that you are already God. Okay? So it means to never act from lack. It means your actions arise as expressions of fulfillment and not desperation. The flower does not strain to bloom. It simply yields to what it already is. The flower does not strain to bloom. It simply yields to what it already is. Likewise, the moment you rest in your identity as the fulfilled state, all movement becomes effortless alignment. All movement becomes effortless alignment. So this is what it means. We say, okay, be still. Be still and know that you are that which you desire to be. Meaning, just be present. Be still. Be wherever you are. Okay, let's do this practically. Let me give a practical example. Okay, so let's say that you decide that you want this money, right? You want this money. And you have caught yourself feeling bad about the circumstances you're in right now. And so now you catch yourself when you're feeling bad, you're like, oh no, I have to feel better about it. And so you're trying to make yourself feel better. Like you're trying to force yourself to feel better so you can get it. All right? What is that implying? It's implying right now that you don't think that you are it. And you have to do something to be the person that is it. Okay? So what this is actually saying, Psalm 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. One of the translations is cease striving and know that I am God. A very literal statement. It means, okay, I catch myself trying to feel better so I can get what I want. No. Be still. Stop trying to feel better about it and just know that however you feel, whoever you are right now, you already have it and you are perfect. That is what this means. So in a practical way, right? All right. So all of a sudden you have this person that you want. You have this person that you want, right? And you see them out doing whatever. You went out Halloween night and she was dressed as a ghoul and the dude she was with was a goblin and she might have been goblin. Never mind. So you see her doing whatever, right? Now, instead of you trying to feel better about it, you simply be still and know that you are still exactly who you desire to be. It's still done. It's already done. You have them. I don't have to try to be more. I don't have to try to think less. The thoughts don't, the ego does not create. The feelings don't create, right? It's just, the feelings don't create, right? I am creates. So it's be still. Stop trying to strive to get what you want and just know that you are already that person. And now take action. So here's the key part. Now take action from that knowing. Do whatever you want, not from the trying to do something to get it, trying to feel better about it to get it, trying to think better thoughts about it to get it. No. Just know that you are it. And now continue on. Now continue on from that, right? And that is the key to inspired action right there. What is inspired or aligned action? It's whatever you do from the knowing that you are God. Everything that you do from the striving, from the reaching, trying to get something in some perceived future, that's not it. If you're trying to do something to get something in the future, it's not it. But when you know that you're already it in the present, everything becomes aligned action. There's the formula for you. If you're doing it from the knowing that you are already it in the present moment, that's aligned, inspired action. Boom. If you're doing something to change something in the future, trying to manipulate time, trying to manipulate who you are, that is not. So, yep. Don't control anything. Just be. Allow whatever. Give reality permission to unfold and reorganize perfectly for you. Let God take care of God. Okay? Here we go. All right. So the moment you rest in your identity as the fulfilled state, all movement becomes effortless alignment. Life begins to serve you instead of you serving life. Stillness becomes command. Knowing becomes creation, and manifestation becomes remembrance. Okay, we got to break that one down because I don't want that to go beyond anybody. Okay, so stillness becomes command. Stillness, what? Presence. Being. Wherever I am, I'm being. I'm still. I'm sitting on the throne in the center of reality. Okay, so stillness becomes command. Now, from that stillness, knowing becomes creation. All right, so I see whatever, and I know, okay, I'm already everything because I'm in the stillness of the present moment. Okay? And now my knowing that I'm already prosperity, that becomes creation. From this stillness, from this being. And now manifestation becomes remembrance, meaning I go through life and whatever happens, I remind myself, oh, it's already done. I'm already that. I'm already prosperity. I'm already love. It's already done. Okay? So those three pillars, okay? Stillness becomes command, knowing becomes creation, and manifestation becomes remembrance. There's the key. There is the key right there. All right? So the subtle energetic shift is this. Stop chasing outcomes and start embodying essence. You cannot be both the seeker and the found. A double-minded man is unstable, right? You can't be both the seeker and the found. The more you identify with the one who wants, the more your reflection shows you lack. The instant you become the one who is, the mirror bows and rearranges itself. Hopefully this is clicking. Hopefully this is clicking. All right. Next part, the death of the seeker. You have spent lifetimes searching for signs, proof, and progress, but the seeker never finds because seeking sustains distance. The more you search for something out there to prove to you that this works, guess what? Who are you being? You're being the seeker. And so you're being someone who has distance between who you are and where you want to be. Therefore, reality just mirrors you and gives you more and more of that. More confirmation of who you are. Right? This is not punishment. I'm just in a season of isolation. No, you're not. Just stop. Just decide to not be in the season of isolation anymore then. Choose differently. Okay? Just choose differently. You have spent lifetime searching for signs, proof, and progress. But the seeker never finds because seeking sustains distance. In truth, there is nothing to manifest, only something to remember. So this Rumi quote that we talked about in the beginning, right? We're going to bring it back around. You wander from room to room, hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. When you finally stop striving and become still in knowing, you realize the diamond was never missing. It was your awareness of it that was asleep. Did that hit a little bit different? Okay? So we got 2 love letters today. I got this love letter, then we're going to finish off this discussion. Then I got another one, then we got affirmations. All right? So here we go. Beloved, sit back, sip your wine. So this letter is from me to me, but think of it as you to you, higher self to you, okay? Beloved, you have spent lifetimes searching for signs, for proof, for some whisper from heaven to confirm what your soul already knows. But the seeker never finds, for seeking sustains distance. Every prayer that begins with one day builds another mile between you and the miracle. Yet the divine has never been delayed. It has only waited for your stillness, for the silence in which remembrance can rise. You do not need to chase alignment when you are the alignment itself. The moment you stop running, everything you've sought begins to unfold from you, drawn by the gravity of your knowing. There is nothing to manifest, only something to remember. Every desire is a message from your higher self reminding you of what already is. You are not the beggar asking for light. You are the sun that forgot its brilliance. Cease the chase. Let the search end here, in this breath, in this awareness. You are not on the path to your power. You are its arrival. Be still and witness how the whole universe rearranges itself to reflect what you have always been. I am that I am, right? No matter what. Next part, all right? So living as the reflection of the divine. To live as being is to walk in perfect trust. Reality is what it is, but I am that I am no matter what. Reality is what it is, but I am that I am no matter what. Okay? You no longer ask the mirror to change. You simply see differently. You speak from fulfillment and not for it. You move through the world as evidence of answered prayer. The evidence isn't out there. I am the evidence. The evidence is my conviction, my belief, my knowing, my word, my decree. I am the law. I am the law of Moses. I wonder what that meant. I am the law of Moses. I am the law. I am the truth. Right? This is Jesus what? Highlighting the conscious way. I am the truth. Whatever is out there, that's not the truth. I am the truth. My consciousness, my awareness of being is the truth. Right? I am the way. Well, what if I don't know how to get there? Well, shit, I am the way. The conscious way. I declare it. I decree it. I am prosperity. I don't have to know how to get there. I just am it. Therefore, it unfolds from me, and I experience the unfolding of myself. Right? So as Paul wrote, 2 Corinthians 3:18, all right, we all, with unveiled faces, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image. Let me say that one more time. Okay? We all, okay, with unveiled faces, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord. As in a mirror, the glory of the Lord, right? So when we understand, when we dwell in the knowing of who we are, right, we can simply, right, beholding as in a mirror, we can simply look at reality, which is our mirror, and see the glory of the Lord, the glory of the law, are being transformed into the same image. Let me say that one more time. Sometimes they just say all kinds of things. It just feels like it's out of order. We all with unveiled faces, right, walking in the truth of who we are, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image, right? Everything out there is being transformed to the same image as you are. Let me dumb it down. All right? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So here we go. We got 3 reflection questions for you. 3 reflection. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Dark and confusing. It sounds like that sounds like a vacation. Sign your boy up. But yeah, I had a couple of them. So a couple reflection questions for y'all, all right? These are gonna help, all right? So remember, the moment that we put awareness on something, the moment we put awareness on it, it's done. It's healed. Right? You might as well sprinkle holy water on it. Okay, it is healed, it is done, it's good to go. All right. Now it becomes a choice. I'm aware of this quote unquote limitation, which is just something that I don't want to agree with anymore. I don't accept that as who I am anymore. It's not my truth anymore. Okay? So I'm aware of it, and now it becomes a choice. I simply tell a different story. So here's the reflection questions to help you identify some things. Number 1, where in my life am I still identifying as the one who wants rather than the one who is? Am I still identifying with the one who wants love versus the one who is love? My bad, y'all. I trade, right? I invest, let me put it like that. I'm kind of weaning off of the day traders, right? Or day trading. But I follow President Trump. I follow Trump on because he can tweet and just fuck the market over, right? It's sometimes like the random notifications just pop up. He just said something about the NFL kickoff rule. Shit was comedy. All right, but anyways, where in my life am I still identifying as the one who wants rather than the one who is? Right? Where? How do you change that? Well, you can instantly change that by simply knowing who you are right now in this moment. In case y'all wondering, I'm anti-politics, by the way. Anti-politics. If I wasn't like helping my parents so much, I would be out on somewhere. I'd be out somewhere living a remote life. Living a very remote life. All right, number two. What stories in my mirror, right? What stories in the mirror? Think of the mirror as reality, okay? What stories in my mirror keep repeating because I have not changed the observer? Okay? So what stories keep repeating? Is there a story of lack? Is there a story going on? Story of people being hot and cold, of people walking out of your life because you have not changed the observer and you're just hoping for something out there to change so you can feel better about it instead of simply deciding who you are moving forward. All right, and then number 3, if my world is a mirror, what inner assumption would I need to hold right now to see peace, love, and abundance reflected? Since your world is a mirror, okay, what inner assumption do you need to hold to see peace, love, and abundance reflected, right? Let's cut straight to the core, right? I don't need you sitting around and trying to affirm 18 different affirmations every single day. Can't even hold conversations with people because you're too busy trying to recite affirmations. What inner assumption wraps all of that up, that you are peace, love, and abundance? I'm everything I desire to be. I'm the peace of God. I'm the abundance of God. I'm the love of God. I am God. I am all that there is. I am everything that I desire to experience. Go to that assumption. Let that be your dominant state of being. Step into that reality right now. All right. So I got a couple more questions not even questions. My bad, y'all. I have one more love letter and then we got affirmations and then we'll do questions. Okay. Until my phone dies. I think I got 20%. We're cool. I got 20%. All right. Here we go. Beloved, be still now. You have reached for so long. Stretch your hands towards stars that were already shining within you. The journey was never to gain, but to remember. You have tried to build what was always within. Prayed for doors to open while forgetting you were the key. The waiting and striving is over. Rest in the knowing that you already are what you have been asking for. The moment you decide to be, creation rearranges itself in reverence to your certainty. You are the word made flesh, the thought that became form. Every breath you take sends ripples through existence. You no longer need to prove your power. You are living proof of it. Stop reaching outward. The universe is not beyond you. It blooms from you. When doubt whispers, return to stillness. When fear rises, return to stillness. When you are still, you stand in your original power, not waiting for the miracle, but realizing you are the miracle, right? Be still and know. Cease striving and know. I am that I am, right? No matter what. No matter what. Enjoy your time at Disney Club. Enjoy your time, right? And yeah, 20% is perfect. Cool. So here's some affirmations. Remember, when I say these affirmations, you're not trying to be these. Okay? This is divine remembrance of who you have always been, of who you already are. You're already all of these. Okay? You're already all of these. Number 1, I no longer seek what I already am. The search dissolves in the light of recognition. Yeah, you like that one. Like that one. Like that one. I no longer seek what I already am. The search dissolves in the light of recognition. Okay. Next. My world does not follow effort. It unfolds at the pace of my remembrance. My world does not follow effort. It unfolds at the pace of my remembrance. Ooh, the more I remember, the more everything works out perfectly. With your divine ass. Right? Next, I rest in the sacred stillness of knowing that creation is already complete. I rest in the sacred stillness of knowing that creation is already complete. If creation is already complete, which it is, then why would I be striving out there trying to make something happen? I don't need to create anything. I'm simply choosing who I'm going to be and allowing reality to unveil that to me. There's nothing to do but to be present. There's nowhere to go except this moment. You can't escape this moment. Might as well enjoy it. You can't escape this moment. Might as well enjoy it. All right. Every reflection before me is the voice of God echoing through form. Every reflection before me is the voice of God echoing through form. Beautiful, beautiful. Every desire is not a reaching, but a remembering of what my soul already holds. Right? The desire is simply God desiring to experience more of itself through me. Like I said earlier, I want to reiterate this. God is not desiring a car through you. Okay? God is just reminding you that you are all that there is. You have this desire for a car. It's just source reminding you that you can have whatever you want. Right? The feeling of desire is the feeling of life, of expansion, of God taking this one singular perspective of all that there is. And knowing itself is much more, knowing that it's infinite. And so you have this desire. It's just God moving across itself within you that gives you this urge to experience more in your life. It's holy. Desire is holy. Right? I walk as fulfillment embodied, no longer disguised as longing. I walk as fulfillment embodied, no longer disguised as longing. Beautiful. And last but certainly not least, right? The mirror of life bends to my being, for I am the I am through which worlds awaken. Say that one more time. The mirror of life bends to my being, for I am the I am through which worlds awaken. I am the I am through which worlds awaken. Right? I am that I am, no matter what. So hopefully this was we've been getting real mystical lately with you are God and there's no relationship with God because there's only one and relationship requires two. We've been getting real deep, right? But today was kind of getting back to knowing yourself as source so you can have the life that you want, right? It was getting back to reality creation. It was kind of taking the gas off of the mystical, right? Because I love the mystical, but you want the SP. So we got to meet in the middle. Now, I'm just playing. But let's talk about whatever y'all want. Y'all have questions? Let's talk about it. If y'all want to join, go ahead. You got about 19%. Go and join and ask your long question. If it's an SP question, though, I don't know, listen. Luke, what it do? we don't need to pray because we are God. Well, how would you define praying? Every word is a prayer, right? Like, let's think about exactly, redefine what prayer is. Exactly, like my brother said, right? So think about what prayer is, right? Let's say that everything we desire is perfect, but what if it's something bad? Are you desiring it from the illusion of separation? Well, that's the illusion of separation, right? That desire right there is the illusion of separation. Right? You think you're separate from them. And you think that there is a blank anyway, right? So, what was the question? My bad. Oh, prayer. When we begin to see life through the eyes of devotion, right? I am the fullness of God. You are the fullness of God. Everything that I experience, everything around me is the fullness of God. Within everything becomes a prayer. The way that I choose to see you is the way that I honor God. The way that I choose to see myself is the way that I get to honor, or I choose to honor the expression of God, right? The things that I see within other people, the way that I think, the way that I eat, the way that I show gratitude for whatever, that is how I pray. Now, let's really go into the highest form of prayer. All right? What is the highest form of prayer? Presence. Presence. Why? If you can only have what you have in the present moment, then you being fully engaged and locked into whatever you're having right there is God bringing his presence. God bringing its presence. Let me not say he. God bringing its presence into whatever is in front of it. That is prayer. Presence is prayer. Pleading is not prayer. That's religious separation disguised as some kind of virtuousness, right? That's not prayer. Right? Me thinking that I have to scream and plead to a being outside of me is absolutely not prayer. That is purely separation. Every moment becomes prayer when you realize that you are engulfed, surrounded by God. There is nothing outside of God. Nothing. The way that you get dressed is prayer. The way you brush your teeth, prayer. The way that you eat and cook for your family, prayer. You are honoring God within everyone. The way I think about you, prayer. It's all a prayer, right? So it's simply about changing our view, our perspective on everything. Hello, hello.
Hi, can you see me?
See you wonderfully. How you doing, Alyssa?
Oh my God. Wait, how's it going?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I didn't think you were gonna turn on the camera. You must be trying to pull a new SP from the crowd today. I see you.
It's not an SP question.
Okay.
I don't know how this thing works, but anyway.
Yeah, Alyssa trying to pull somebody.
What?
Trying to pull somebody from the chat. That's cool.
Anyways, yeah, so here's my question. So, since everyone and everything is love, why, like, if I hold somebody's highest potential in mind and I hold them at their highest potential, everybody's always like, don't look at potential, potential is like, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone's always like, you're always falling in love with people's potential, whether, it doesn't matter who it is, it's people in general. But they're still showing up as like guarded against love. If I'm viewing them as just love as a whole, why then would they be appearing as guarded or protected against love? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it make everything that you're saying makes sense, but it also sounds like it sounds like you're stopping halfway. It sounds like you have chosen to see somebody some way, in one way, but when you don't see that, you're simply accepting that as the final manifestation when it's not. You're treating the middle like the end. You have to let it unfold, right? It's not that everything just instantly changes. Well, it does, but it's that even when things aren't, you have to be able to see through the illusion and stay solid in who you know you are, and seeing those people as love, seeing them through the eyes of devotion. right? When I choose to see someone as love, right, in their highest capacity, energetically, they have the capacity now to step forward. Now, however that unfolding looks, because physical reality might create some kind of story of continuity where they go through something and it opens them up empathetically, where you have a conversation and it opens them up empathetically, or whatever the case may be, something will happen. But if you simply accept that, oh, no, it's not working, they're not showing up this way, well, then that's what the manifestation is going to be. So you have this hot and cold thought of them. I see them as love, but they're not showing up as love. Well, you're double-minded anyway. You're not staying consistent and solid in what you want, so reality can't, because it's just you. Don't accept the middle of the story as the end. Just see it as the perfect unfolding towards what you want.
So you would explain the inconsistency, right, of someone showing up beautifully and harmonious, and then showing up as guarded or protecting themselves, right?
Oh, my bad. I think the first part of that you were like a little bit muffled.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So that would explain the inconsistency of it then, right? Where someone at first would show up very harmonious and, just love. And then they would be inconsistent and show up as more protected or guarded.
Yeah. I mean, it's also your story, right? Your story explains this because on one hand, you want to see them as love, but then you're saying, well, people tell me that I see the potential in people too much. And then these people don't show up this way and they're showing up the opposite, right? So you have two stories going on. And so the two stories are being made manifest perfectly in your reality. So you're experiencing this hot and cold, confused behavior because it's just a perfect mirror of you.
Gotcha.
It's really just showing you how powerful you are.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I feel like it's just been a pattern, and people will talk about like avoidance, which I don't mess with any of that, but I do feel like it's a pattern for a lot of people where it's like this hot and cold energy, even just with family or it doesn't matter, anybody. That's like the other day we were talking on the line and I was mentioning my mom. She comes across as like unstable. So I'm just trying to find that stability. So like what part of me is still seeing it as,
I mean, you're the one who's telling the story of instability. It's nothing to search for, right? You don't have to search for anything. You've already found it. Just your ability to tell the story of this inconsistency. That's it. All right. Now, my mother consistently shows up as love because I am consistently love, right? I no longer have to tell the story of what other people say, like I always look too much into it, or like I don't have to deal with the 3D. I can't tell the story that somebody's hot and cold and expect them to be consistently love. Right? If I say you're hot and cold and I'm trying to find something within me that's out picturing it as hot and cold, what am I doing? I'm just continuously affirming that I'm somebody who attracts that. Just by me going down the path of trying to dig it up within me instead of simply just deciding, no, I am love and I don't experience hot and cold love anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So it's the getting out of the trying to work to fix. It's that same cease striving to be still. But it's just taking it in a different direction. Stop trying to work to fix something that you already are.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. My last question real quick is, so ever since I found you, I already told you, like, some crazy awesome stuff has happened in my life, like just a total 180 for myself, and I'm just like so happy and like loving life lately.
Yeah.
The one thing is, when I say I am prosperity, I'm loving the prosperity coming my way and all the things showing up in my reality. And I say this humbly and like with so much gratitude and love, but like, why can't it be a larger amount? Like, why is it so, like, I don't understand why it's not more.
Okay. All right. When you think of a large amount right now. Does it feel more uncomfortable to you than a smaller amount?
Yeah, it feels more uncomfortable, but not like
not undoable.
Doable. Yeah.
Gotcha. But you've already okay. Let's talk about this more then. All right, what would be a good amount to show up for you?
I mean, so I've been bringing in like.
You don't have to get specific if you don't want. But.
I don't mind. Maybe someone can use this. Like I will have chunks of like 5,000 coming in, which is nice, right? Like everybody, I mean, again, I'm saying this with gratitude, but I would like chunks of like 20, you know?
First world problems. I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, like I say this, you guys, with so much love, seriously.
Understood. Okay. Um, I don't. I don't think that you have a block on anything, man. I just think that you have to accept what you want. It goes back to the same. I was expecting you to say a little bit more, but it kind of goes back to just that old story. Is that okay? I am prosperity, and now this money is showing up. You know, just small, humble $5,000 chunks. No big deal, right? So I have this money, but then I have other money that I wish that I could get, but I can't get it. So you're already just constantly making this delineation between these two amounts in your mind instead of simply accepting that you are all forms of prosperity. The only limitation or the only boundary is the boundary that you formed in your consciousness on what prosperity means. That, okay, 5K is cool, but why can't it be this much? Well, the answer is in the question. It can be that much. It's just about the acceptance that you are all forms of prosperity, that your prosperity is always growing, that the numbers are always increasing. It's just constantly reminding yourself that and removing that boundary.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I think the other thing too is I really need to rest more in a state of gratitude, because like whenever I get something, I'm on to the next. Like, let's keep going, like a game, you know? And I'm just having fun with it, but I think too, like I'm missing maybe a little bit of gratitude sprinkled in there. God is probably like, if you were more grateful, we could give you more money.
No, that could be a block. That's just something that you've created as a block, right? If God is love, why does God need your gratitude? God doesn't need your gratitude. Maybe your presence, right? But God is infinite love. God doesn't need your love, your praise, your gratitude, none of that. God just is. God is pure awareness expressing itself through you, right? Yeah. You're here to create and expand. So don't create anything that is limiting you to not being able to live fully the life of your dreams. Right?
Yeah.
Everything that implies that you can't have it right now with exactly who you are is a limitation.
Okay. Okay, and then I promise, last question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If I have two very different worlds in my head and I can't decide, I can't make a choice, what is that? Is that just going to hold me in like a stagnant energy?
No. I mean, would it be a problem to choose both?
I don't know how both would happen. Like, how can I live in two places at once?
I see. What about one? Okay. Well, I mean, both doesn't have to be at the same time, right? Both could be one after the other.
Yeah.
But you want it, I'm assuming you want it to happen yesterday.
Yes. Yes, please.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, why not? Okay. So when I have decisions like that, I can only tell you from my perspective. The only thing that I can tell you is, number one, whatever you choose, you can always choose again. Choosing is not, whatever I choose today does not have to be my final answer. I can always choose again and again and again and again. That's my power.
Yeah.
Whenever I have two things that I really want, right? So I typically will just make the decision that, okay, whatever unfolds for me, I'll accept it. Oh, whatever unfolds for me, I'm just going to accept it perfectly. That's it. Whichever one shows up, I'll take it. But this is what I want. And that's it. I just allow it to flow. If you're having a lot of trouble doing it, then why not play a game with it? List out the pros and cons of each. See which one you want better and choose that one. But before you even move forward, just decide, like, whatever happens, whatever unfolds in front of me is going to be perfect anyway. And even if it's not, I'll be able to choose differently. And that will still be perfect in itself.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Alex. I love you so much. I love this community.
Love you too, man.
So grateful for you guys.
Absolutely. Can't wait to hear more success stories, man.
Yeah, will you kick me out of here? Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, thanks.
Later.
Bye.
This is a badass success story. A badass success story. Oops. Hello? Oh,
Hi. Oh, you kicked someone else off. Someone else was here.
yeah, my bad. I don't know what just happened. Unless that was an accident. What's up, Lo? How you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
I hear you, hear you. Hear you perfectly.
Hi. So are we doing like one at a time with the questions or like who talks first?
Whoever's most aggressive wins.
Okay. Well, my question is the thing is, I finally understood how this stuff works maybe like 2 to 3 months ago. The whole just put your awareness on it and that's it, that's all, right? Like you don't have to fight yourself, you don't blah blah blah. The issue is maybe now and then I'll like fall asleep to this and then I'll wake back up again and I'll like get it. It's like I don't really get consistent results as a result of it. Like say for example, like this just happened to me again a couple days ago where I was asleep for a while and I was very much in the story, in the character, and then out of nowhere I'm like, hey, I'm actually sourced behind all of this. It's just like I can't stop it. And I'm not getting any consistent results, and I'm not getting the major results that I want. I know nothing is major, that's just a story, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah, I get what you mean. So, okay, this is what I'm gonna really push on you, right? If right now you learn how to ride a bike, just because you're not thinking about riding a bike for a day doesn't mean that you forget how to ride it. The problem isn't that you quote unquote went to sleep. You're awake and you can't go back to sleep. You know that you're God. You cannot go back to sleep from that. The problem is that you believe that you're having inconsistent results or you are receiving inconsistent results because of some kind of inconsistent quote unquote forgetting. The truth is that you said something? Or you, all right, either
I
you
didn't
or
say anything, I didn't say anything. Sorry, I'm gonna mute my mic. It's the people around me.
oh, okay, I got you. Cool. Yeah. So the problem is not that you're quote unquote forgetting, right? The problem is that you believe that because you aren't in some quote unquote magical state all day, that you're gonna get inconsistent results. That is the issue right there, right? So you have a belief. If you look at that belief right there is being out pictured in your life. Oh, I don't think that I'm gonna have consistent results. I cannot have consistent results from this state of being. Boom, it shows up. Instead of you simply deciding that everything always works out perfectly for me no matter what, because I am that.
Okay. My next thing is this is kind of particular, and I know again everything is the same. It doesn't matter what it is, but there is this one thing that I've been like really, really fixated on that I feel like I have this story that I've been going with, and trouble like going past because it's like a physical sensation in my body that I can't shake it.
Gotcha. What is the story? You're having trouble getting past the story because of the physical feeling.
Yes, like every single time I experience like pain, I'll think to myself like, oh, it's because of that one injury from 3 years ago. You know, it's a story I can go past. Just be like, you know what? I'm perfect. I'm whole. I'm complete. I'm healthy. Whatever.
Hmm.
A difficult thing to not identify with.
Dang, you're going in and out. I can't tell if you stopped talking or not, but I'm assuming that you did. All right. So, all right.
Okay, I'm gonna take off my AirPods. If you maybe it'll be clearer then.
Okay.
So, basically, what happens
Much better.
is because of the story that I have, every single time I experience physical pain, I'll be like, oh, it's because of this one injury from a few years back. And then I'll go to the source and I'll be like, you know what? No, I'm actually whole, I'm perfect, I'm complete, and whatever. But it's hard to not identify with the pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. When you say identify with the pain, do you mean even though the pain shows up, you're trying not to feel the pain? What do you mean by identify?
No, what I mean is to not identify with the character that is feeling pain.
I see.
Like, instead of just being like, oh, pain is present, pain is there, it's like, no, I'm in pain, I'm hurting, I need this, I need that, you know?
I got you. Well, okay. That is part of the human experience, right? So the human eye is going to say that, right? That's fine. Because when we have these abrupt moments, these moments in our life where all of a sudden fear comes up, pain comes up, these thoughts come up, all right? The initial reaction is we tend to identify with it, all right? Are you trying to get to some ideal state where you absolutely never identify with? I think this goes back to even the last thing that you were saying. It's this chasing of perfectionism when you're already perfect. Instead of standing in your power and reminding yourself that, okay, even if I identified with it for a second, I remember that I am not that person, that I am healthy and whole and everything is working out. And standing in that power in this moment and allowing the past to fade away. Instead of doing that, it's like you catch yourself reacting, or you catch yourself, maybe drifting off mentally, and then you're hard on yourself. You don't give yourself grace to say, no, I am perfect. I am God. It's, I made a mistake, so now I'm not it. I get inconsistent results, or the pain can't go away because of those things. But that's not true. Those are the stories that you're telling. It's like you're chasing perfection in your awareness instead of simply knowing that your being is awareness. You there? Oh, okay.
Oh,
What's good, brother?
it was good, okay?
Chilling.
Uh,
I know you got some tough ass questions. What you got?
yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Cool.
Let me shoot this first one at you, right? Obviously, ever since I first got into this space in this community, a lot of stuff has been coming my way. But there's still fundamental things I don't understand. Like, or there's something I'm missing because the effects of basically, how do I always stay present even in these situations? I'm struggling to stay present, basically. If that makes sense. All the time. And I think that's one of the pieces I'm missing. And I always stay focused on I am source.
All right. Look, okay. I think this is gonna talk to everybody. Answer this question is gonna talk to everybody. All right. I get it. Right. We're all chasing perfectionism. We have to give ourselves grace on this journey. Okay. We have to give ourselves grace. You are God right now. You've remembered that. You're the center of your reality. That's simply a fact. Okay. It's a fact. It's not a feeling. It's not a thought that when I'm thinking it, I'm more powerful. It's not a feeling that when I'm feeling it, I'm more powerful. It's not when I catch myself out of alignment, all of a sudden I'm less powerful because I did it. It's I am simply it now, unconditionally moving forward. I am source. All right. And so now, because I'm God, all right, if you're God, which you are, your condemning of yourself and your forgiving of yourself are both powerful. So we'll go a whole day and then we'll fall off for 20 minutes. We'll fall off for 2 hours and we'll say, shit, damn, I'm struggling with the forget. I'm struggling with the remembering. I must not be able to get what I want anymore. Damn, I can't get it. Now the pain is going to be there still. Whatever happened in that time, now it's just, I'm fucked now. And so now we move forward and we're telling this story of what we don't even want. It's okay to be a human, right? We have to honor our divinity and our humanity at the same time. Meaning I know I'm all that there is, but I also know I'm a human. And being a human means what? I'm going to have feelings. I'm going to have times where I'm not present. I'm going to have times when I'm not present. I'm going to have times when I'm in pain. I'm going to have times when I identify with those things. But the remembrance of me being God is meant to elevate me, right? It's meant to give me grace. It's meant to allow myself to give me grace. Like, okay, cool. I can forgive myself. Now I have to hold on to the past. I I don't have to try to be some perfectionist and super transform and train this ego mind to only think what I want. No, I understand that my thoughts are going to happen. My feelings are going to happen. My doubts will happen. My fear, my anxiety, my forgetting will happen. But I am that I am. This is the purpose of forgetting. You came in this game to forget. So of course you're going to have momentary lapses of remembering. Why? Because that's the only way that the game can continue. If you constantly were in this remembrance of oneness and you just dissolved into everything, the game would be over. You couldn't play it. But just the remembering is how you're able to, I know myself more. Now I have more things that I want. Now I can experience the love through this other person. Right? So the forgetting is part of the game. It's part of your divinity. Right? It's part of this ego that allows us to have all that we want. So what I'm going to say is give yourself grace. Right? You'll get better at being aware and being present. But the moments that you are, enjoy them. The moments that you're not, forgive yourself and know that you're still perfect through it.
Because we are human.
Exactly.
Another thing is building off of what Alyssa said, where she said, I know I am prosperity, but the results don't really reflect that. Or the results are not building up to the grand, big image in my head of I am prosperity. What do you say, or what do you remind yourself of to reaffirm that?
It's that I am prosperity. I just continue to go to the center, right? That whether I'm remembering, whether I forget, I am prosperity. I just am prosperity. Okay. I don't judge the amounts. Me personally, okay, if I'm talking for my personal self, I don't judge the amounts. I know I'm prosperity. Now I have total amounts that I like to make. And I know all of my money equals that and it adds up to it. But whether I pick up $1 on the street, whether a $10,000 check comes into me, whether I go into the market and I snipe a 25K trade, whatever the case may be, it's all prosperity. So I don't judge things as big or small. I see it all as prosperity, and I see it all as confirmation of who I am. Even spending money, I see it as prosperity. It's all prosperity because I am prosperity. Right? So when I make that my common exercise, now it's like, all right, it just flows more for me. When I make my exercise, just my state of being in life, seeing everything is prosperity. Not just what I receive, but what I spend. I am prosperity because I can. I'm prosperity because I'm, what's up?
So what you're saying is any prosperity is our prosperity. That's
Yes,
what you're saying.
absolutely. Any prosperity is all prosperity. Even me sitting down and being like, I want to make a budget for a trip is prosperity because I have the prosperity. I have the prosperity mindset enough to sit here and make a budget. It's all prosperity. It's judging everything righteously, right? Because we'll put it in a box and be like, oh no, prosperity means I don't have no budget. I don't give a damn about what I spend. Nah, to me, prosperity is still, I'm responsible with it because I have a prosperity mindset to do that. Now, somebody else could say, oh, I'm prosperity because I don't have a budget. I would say, well, okay, that's you. But we sit and we put these boxes in our life that make prosperity more difficult to be because we have these lofty expectations instead of simply accepting that everything is prosperity. And yep, the same thing with love. Everything is love.
So you're saying don't put it in boxes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't limit God.
When we say that everything is love, I'm starting to get confused on differentiating us and love, or God and love. Isn't love just a smaller piece of the infinite? I'm a little confused on that.
Yeah, it's a fractal, you can say, right? But when I say, all right, don't think of love like the human emotion, right? Think of love as the substance of reality. So we often use the substance of reality, the spirit of God, interchangeably with love, right? So this whole experience is simply an experience of love. If I have a desire within me, with that desire moving is love. It is love, right? Everything, what bonds the atoms together right now in my body, there's billions, trillions of cells walking around. or moving around. What bonds them together? The power of love that is source. So from one instant, we're talking about love being the substance or that core foundational piece that binds reality together. It's all binded together by love. The isness of reality is love.
So love connects and binds things. So are you saying love is like a bridge, or
Absolutely.
is there another analogy for that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love is a bridge to everything. It's a bridge to everything.
So instead of using emotion, love is just connecting.
Yeah. Just a connection. Right. When we think of emotion, we're thinking of something completely different. The emotion of love, the human emotion of love, right? That is completely different than the substance of love. The substance of love is all that there is. The human emotion of love is simply an experience, right? Because I can say, well, I fell out of love with somebody. I don't love them anymore, right? That's not the substance of love that is God, right? Substance of love that is God decided it's not going to love anymore. All of a sudden, your body just falls apart. Everything just falls apart, right? So when we think of it from a human perception of the experience, well, that's completely different. We have human experiences that are real, but we also have the substance of love that is the substance of reality.
Like, before I change the topic, going on back to staying present.
Mm-hmm.
Is being present being devoid of any thoughts external of the one-to-one, for example, conversation, or
No, not at all.
Then
Not
what?
at all. Not at all.
what would your definition of being present be?
It would be being just enjoying what I'm doing, right? So even if I'm thinking thoughts and I'm like, dang, I'm not being present, that is being present because I'm aware of it. I've brought it back. So when I think of present, I'm simply saying that my awareness is here. Okay, my awareness is where I'm at, right? I'm talking to y'all, my awareness is here. Now, I could be having a conversation with you, I'm reading the comments, right? I'm reading this document, I'm looking at the YouTube comments, right? All of a sudden I might think, oh shit, I need to go turn off something out there. But then I bring my mind back. All of them, I'm still present, I'm still here, right? Now, when I'm not present, what am I doing? I'm thinking about, I'm damn, when am I gonna get out of here? I'm trying to move, I'm trying to do something else in the future. I'm worried about things in the past. I'm thinking about that comment that came up 5 minutes ago that still is getting on my nerve and I can't focus on what you're saying anymore. Like, I'm drug out of this present moment by those types of things.
So you could multitask and still be present, but at the same time, thinking of too far externally outside of the situation is not being present.
When I say this, somebody's gonna get on my ass. But yeah, I think that you can multitask and be present. Yes, I think so. Somebody gonna say it. But yeah, but I think like if I'm having a conversation and I'm taking notes, I can still be present in doing that.
Nah, I see. Because I remember thinking of being present and being in flow of being only thinking of one thing specifically, like only one. Say a conversation, you only listening, and say you're doing something financially like trading, you'd only think of trading, no external thoughts.
Oh nah.
That's how we used to see being present, and that's how I was approaching it.
Gotcha. Nah. I'm not necessarily, man. Just anything that pulls you from this moment, right? Like I can be in this moment and I can be listening to music and trading at the same time. I can be trading and I can also have a conversation with somebody and I'm just watching the charts and I'm listening to them, but I'm still fully immersed in this moment, right? So, yeah. Now, if I'm trading and having this conversation, but I'm thinking about this vacation I'm taking next week and the money that I need for it, and I'm thinking about whatever the case may be, and now I can't even perform in what I'm doing. I'm not present.
This is another big topic I want to get into. The fact, I love the idea of I've always looked at it, even before I got into the spiritual space of being able to change and not being fixated in one place, like being able to change who you are.
Yeah.
But I still struggle. I've never separated myself from my old self, if that makes sense. Like it's always been on the old habits I used to do, the old shit. Not all of them, especially not the bad ones, but I do see it as hard to separate myself completely from my old self.
Okay, when you say separate from your old self, give me a little bit more detail on that.
For example, all the childish shit I used to do first. Like,
Okay.
say my old self would take things without thinking about it.
Mhm.
But I'm just be completely honest, y'all. Say somebody offered me a blunt or something, I take that shit immediately.
Yeah.
My French. Or say opportunity came, but I was too lazy or not lazy. I was procrastinating too much to act on all the opportunities I had.
Yeah.
I can be present, which is what I was talking about being present earlier. I can be present and think, all right, I am source. I don't need to be limited to these things. But when I'm not being present, I struggle to. I immediately default to my old self. If that makes sense.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess you just kind of found out where your work is, right? Right. If not being present causes you to feel like you're a different person, it causes you to kind of go down the route of doing things that you don't want to do anymore. Well, shoot. I mean, it's not that you're more unworthy of getting what you want by doing those things. It's simply that's not the person that you want to be. Therefore, that's where the work is right there. Is okay, I don't want to be that person, so let me be more present so I can not be that person. That's kind of, and being present is a skill. It is something that you just get better at over time. But give yourself grace on the way there. Allow yourself to say, okay, well, today I went 2 hours of presence. Tomorrow I went 3. The next day I went 1. The next day I went 2. The next day I went 5. The next day, it's about constantly just being better every day, working on it, but knowing, not tying the more present I am, the more godly I am. No, you're perfect the whole time. Being present just allows you to remind yourself that you are God more. That's all. Either way, you still are.
I also want to talk about the balance between changing. For example, you said instead of trying to change the mirror, change your perception of who you are.
Yeah.
I remember vividly. So I'm trying to find the balance between just existing and letting, because I don't think you said exactly to just exist and you will attract exactly what you want. But I think you said something along those lines.
Yeah, I said something like that.
And then, obviously, I see the idea of simply changing to a different form, something that's very effortful. So I'm trying to find a balance between that.
Changing to a different form is very difficult, you said?
Yeah, as in change to a different, like, not different things, so that's a little confusing, you see what I'm saying? But change who I am and what I'm thinking of, if that makes sense.
Change who you are and what you think about. Yeah, it makes sense. I think it's, all of these things just come down to you not giving yourself grace on this journey. The moment that you decided that you are somebody, you're already it, right? I think you're starting to tie all these different things to it. Okay, I don't feel like it, so I must not be it. All right, I don't think that I'm it, so I must not be it. No, you just are it. You've already become it. You are it, right? So you're trying to have this perfect embodiment from a human perspective. My ego's always in alignment, feelings always in alignment, thoughts always in alignment. I'm this perfect robotic being that never thinks against or speaks against or feels against what I want. And that's just not realistic. The point of this isn't for you to abandon your humanity. is for you to rise in your divinity while still honoring your humanity. I can do whatever I need to do. I can work. I can try to get better over time. I can give myself grace on the way, and I can know that I've been perfect this whole time. If you try to do nothing different, and the only thing that you did differently was you did the same shit that you were doing 5, 10, 15 years ago, whatever the case may be, and then you decided, all right, from this point forward, everything always works out for me. Everything that I desire always comes to me, no matter what it looks like out there, is always coming to me. It would be perfect. Everything else throughout, right, is just self-improvement, all of those things that you do just to have a better quality of life for yourself. But none of that makes you more worthy of anything. None of that makes you more God.
So you're saying I'm chasing perfection?
Yes.
And that is
exactly,
because
bro.
we are already perfect.
Yeah, the striving to perfect that human form is what's keeping it's often that self-improvement, that striving, that trying to fix and perfect this shit. It's like we're trying to wax the fucking car when instead of just relying on the engine. Like it's I don't even know a good metaphor for it. We're trying to polish. We're basically trying to. Anyways, if we try to perfect this human vessel, it's often that self-improvement that keeps us from getting what we want. Because you're constantly in this state of seeking. You're seeking. So if you're seeking to be this person to get what you want, then reality is just showing you more things that allow you to keep seeking. Instead of you just being it and knowing, okay, I'm trying to get better as a person. That's fine, but I'm still perfect and I'm getting everything I want. I'm still the prosperity. I'm trying to, have better routines, but I'm still perfect and I'm getting everything that I want and I'm still prosperity. It all flows to me, but I'm simply doing all these things because I want to improve. But it's separating the human part of us and the divine part of us. I honor my humanity by knowing that I have feelings, knowing I want to improve, knowing I want to feel better, knowing I want to think better. But I honor my divinity by knowing I'm all that there is. I'm perfect. Everything comes to me no matter what.
So, would it be with striving or trying to? Because I've been trying to change human things, like focus for example, I've been trying to say, oh, I have focus, or I have things that you need to earn in a human way, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to earn, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. And do that. But don't tie that to your worthiness. Don't tie that to when I'm finally hit. Okay. Because I keep saying okay because I keep wanting to. Let me slow down when I say this. Let's say that you decide right now, okay, I want to improve my focus to get what I want and I want to be more and more present. Perfect. At what point will you decide that you are present enough to get what you want?
Exactly. You just won't.
You won't.
Striving.
You'll constantly be striving. That is what it comes down to. Damn. What was that, Glo?
That scared me.
That's.
Oh, so sorry. I was just going to say, I have an answer to that question.
Go ahead.
My answer would be, when I get what I want, isn't that proof that I focused hard enough?
No, y'all. Y'all are going back. Okay, think about it like this. You're waiting for external things to prove who you are. So waiting for something out there, being like, okay, when it shows up, that means I've done enough. That right there is waiting for the external reality to give us proof. Instead of deciding that you are the proof, which is what you're doing by saying, all right, when I focus enough, when I'm aware enough, when I'm this enough, when I'm that enough, when I'm that enough, when I'm this enough, then I can get what I want. Instead of just deciding I'm going to get what I want and I'm going to do all these other things simply because I want to be a better person.
So I'm like, no.
Yeah. Being a good person has nothing to do with getting the life that you want. Being a good person is just something that you do. Like,
Being a good person, but trying to achieve these things that are improved with self improvement.
okay, self improvement has nothing to do with manifesting the life of your dreams. Honestly, when you see people that, I mean, we can all judge from a human perception, but we will look out there and see people that don't qualify from our perspective as people who should have prosperity that are overflowing with it. Why? Because they are prosperity. They just are.
Would it be outrageous to say that I'm trying to learn things that take time through just saying because I'm trying to, I think I'm limiting
Mm-hmm.
the things I can do by just deciding it's done. But at the same time, things that you need to improve, like focus, being present, talking better, speaking better, all that shit, things like that, I think it has to be improved. Or as I am right now, I think it has to be improved with time and skill, rather than just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. Those things, work on them, right? Those things, you work on them, you get better. Like your attention, your awareness, focus is a muscle. All I'm saying is don't tie that to your worthiness to get something.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to figure out. Because obviously I was thinking, if I just decided I had these things, I could get them instead of trying to improve on them.
Yeah.
Things like prosperity and I am God, I am prosperity, things come naturally to me. I can say those things and it will be done, but I still have to try and strive to improve the things like building focus, working on myself, better muscles, shit like that.
Yeah, nah, you don't have to do that at all. You can allow those to be two completely different worlds. Your desires and, you know, the improvement and all those and the self-improvement are two completely different worlds. Treat them as such. You're always going to be, you're always I guess depending on the type of people that we are, but the type of person that I'm sensing that you are, you're not going to get to a point where you just stop improving. You'll always be, in a sense, trying to improve something about yourself because that's who you are. Allow that to be who you are. Don't let that limit what you can receive.
One thing before I get up and out of here, you have a way of describing, you and I have decided to you have a way of describing desire. And
Uh-oh. We got 1% alert. Just to let you know.
could you
Explain desire.
depict it again?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the Spirit of God is made manifest within you, within me, right? And so the Spirit of God is all that there is. I'm gonna say this real fast. If the phone dies, on my bad, y'all. The Spirit of God is made manifest within all of us. All right? And it's all that there is. Now, I can only take one perspective of reality. I am Alex. I am prosperity. I am broke. Whatever the case may be. Now, if I go through a situation and whatever happens, I see something I don't like, all of a sudden that gives me clarity on what I do have, what I do like, what I do want. And so now I have this urge or this desire come over me. Nope. Miss, my bad. Nah, but sure. Yeah. Man, I'm just sitting here. My bad. Oh, was it disconnected? Is everything disconnected right now?